She had been married for 9 years. She thought she knew everything about her husband, his habits, his routines, his laugh. But one rainy Tuesday afternoon, a single phone notification changed everything she believed about her life. And what she did next, nobody saw coming. Welcome to PreciousStoryHub, where we share accounts of betrayals, survival, and the kind of revenge that makes you want to stand up and clap. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. We post new stories every week. Now let's get into it. Sarah and Daniel had what everyone around them called a perfect marriage. They met in college, married at 26, and built a comfortable life together in a quiet suburb outside of Atlanta. Daniel worked in finance. Sarah ran a small interior design business from home. They had a 9-year-old daughter named Lily, a golden retriever named Biscuit, and a house with a porch they had renovated together with their own hands. From the outside, everything looked beautiful. But Sarah had noticed small things over the past year. Daniel coming home later than usual. His phone always face down on the table. Weekend business trips that seemed to multiply out of nowhere. She told herself she was overthinking. She trusted him. She had no reason not to. Until the Tuesday that changed everything. Daniel had left his tablet on the kitchen counter that morning, still logged into his email. Sarah wasn't snooping. She was looking for a restaurant reservation he had mentioned making for her birthday. But when she opened his inbox, the restaurant reservation was not what she found. There were emails, hundreds of them, to a woman named Monica. Going back 3 years, Sarah's hands went cold. She read slowly at first, then faster. Then she stopped reading altogether because she had seen enough. There were photos, there were hotel receipts, there were words that a man only says to someone he loves. And at the bottom of one email, dated 8 months ago, was a photo of Daniel holding a baby boy. His name, according to the email, was Marcus. He was 7 months old. Daniel had a son with another woman, and he had hidden it for nearly a year. Sarah closed the tablet. She walked to the bathroom. She sat on the edge of the bathtub for 45 minutes without moving. And then something shifted inside her. The tears stopped. Her jaw tightened, and she made a decision. She was not going to cry her way through this. She was going to be smart. Sarah did not confront Daniel that night, or the next night, or the one after that. Instead, she called her sister. Then she called a lawyer. Then she called a financial advisor her father had recommended years ago. She spent 2 weeks quietly gathering every document she could find: bank statements, investment accounts, property records, business registrations. What she discovered during those 2 weeks shocked her almost as much as the emails had. Daniel had been quietly moving money, small amounts at first, 500 here, 1,000 there, into an account she knew nothing about. Over 3 years, he had moved nearly $80,000 out of their joint finances, money that was supposed to be their retirement, their daughter's college fund, their future. He wasn't just cheating, he was building an exit, a whole separate life funded with their money. Sarah kept her face calm every single evening when Daniel came home. She cooked dinner, she asked about his day, she laughed at his jokes, and every night after he fell asleep, she worked. On a Friday morning, 3 weeks after she found the emails, Sarah made 3 phone calls. The first was to Daniel's employer, where she informed the HR department that an employee had been falsifying business trip expenses to fund personal travel. She had the receipts to prove it. The second call was to Daniel's mother, a deeply religious woman who had always adored Sarah, to let her know the truth about her son, calmly and with evidence. The third call was to her lawyer, instructing her to file the divorce papers she had already prepared, freeze the joint accounts, and begin proceedings to recover the transferred funds. By the time Daniel arrived at work that Friday morning, HR was waiting for him. By the time he tried to call his mother for support, she didn't pick up. And by the time he came home that evening expecting a normal Friday night, the locks had been changed. His bags were on the porch, and a copy of the divorce papers was taped to the front door. Sarah did not scream. She did not beg. She did not fall apart. She simply refused to be a victim of a man who had mistaken her kindness for weakness. Today, Sarah runs her interior design business full-time. Her daughter Lily is thriving. And the $80,000, every single cent, was recovered through the divorce settlement. Daniel lost his job, his family, and the life he had tried to secretly replace. Some people call that karma. Sarah calls it Tuesday. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And drop in the comments. Did Sarah do the right thing? I want to know what you think. Subscribe to Precious Story Hub for a new story every week. See you next time.